Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast, NXT makes a bunch of cuts. NJPW has a very eventful and newsworthy and good pay-per-view. We have WWE Backlash predictions, and AEW has a so-so Dynamite. You know what? That doesn't sell it very well. Just that and a whole bunch more tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast. You know, I tried to do these off the cuff, and it's like, man, do I want to waste my time and Jason's time by starting over, or does everybody ditch that 9 to 5? It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks. Welcome to the Banned from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Veggie, a.k.a. You're gonna be kayfabe. Say the goddamn words. You're gonna be kayfabe. Say the goddamn fucking words. Say it. And too high left, as always, we have Jason Cornelius Bell.
Say it, bitch. Say it. That's great. And
for all you Reservoir Dogs fans out there.
Right. On that lovely note, allow us to power hits and a read from the latest edition.
That might be my favorite one ever.
I love Reservoir Dogs. As I read from the latest edition of the Banned from Ringside podcast, volume 255, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good spark saying, hashtag boo the heels. It is all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. I want to kick this show off the right way on a positive note. Those who were at wrestling at the Grandel, first and foremost, thank you very much for coming out. I had an amazing time.
For sure.
Joey spoke ravingly about everything that happened around the show itself, before, during, and after. The gentleman, I'm sure that he is listening. I hope he's listening. The gentleman that wore the white kayfabe shirt with the sports coat on, slide in my DMs. I got some more shirts for you, so let's get you updated on shirts. Outside of that, man, I was really blown away by the production of wrestling, or Grandel Wrestling, and the fact that it has kind of gotten some national traction. Really is kind of scary because, let's just face it, Joey's not, he's not Tony Khan, he's not VKM, he's
better and he's smarter. He books a better show.
That bad boy was tight. It was just under 3 hours. I'm happy for Joey.
One of the best things. Go ahead.
No, happy for Joey, happy for St. Louis. He's already talking about round 2 next year. It was an amazing time. It was good. It was one of the few times I was proud to be of St. Louis, and that's saying something.
Tremendous event in a beautiful venue. That's my first time ever going there.
Mine too.
I talked to people that had gone to see bands there. It would be incredible to see a band there. But, man, it was incredible to see a wrestling show there. There really wasn't a bad seat in the house. Mm-hmm. I was down low for a match. I was up high for a match. Unfortunately, my crew that I was going with, that we had a booth, unfortunately they couldn't make it, so I was kind of a butterfly. I was kind of going around. I watched a couple of matches with you and Murray. I watched a couple of matches with David Patterson and Kristen and Jim, and I met my favorite troll.
Right. I was going to say, Matt Petrie. Yeah, mate. Let's try this again. You met Patriot Pat. I thought that might have been a little bit of a scrum, but unfortunately that's
Why do you think me and Patriot Pat would have been a scrum?
Well,
I'm talking about Gonzalez. That's my favorite troll.
I know who you're talking about. I'm just saying, when I saw Patriot Pat for the first time, he was like, "Where's Bill? Where's Bill?" I was like,
No, we had a good time. Come on.
I think he's around here somewhere.
It's all love.
No, it is all good.
It's all love, and it was a great time. I took a picture of me and Mike, and he does kind of look like he's from my mom's side of the family.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Shit. I was like, are we fucking related?
Oh, for sure. I'm like, what in the fuck?
I hope we are. I hope we are, because I invited them to Christmas. It was a fun match. What was your highlight, or fun night all around? Like I said, great venue. The bartenders were great. The wrestlers were fantastic. I thought that it was booked well, and I'm not just saying that because I know the booker. I didn't know anything that was going to happen. It was really, really fun. What was your favorite match of the night?
Probably the curtain jerker. Josh Alexander versus Camaro Jackson opened the show, and the crowd was hot. The match was good. Josh Alexander kind of slid into a heelish mode for the match just because he was representing the world. Camaro Jackson obviously representing the 314. So it was cool to see that Josh Alexander wasn't necessarily oblivious to what was happening around him. He came in, he got cheered because, it's Josh Alexander, he's the Impact champion. But once that bell rang, it was basically the lines were drawn, and it was STL versus the world, and fans played into it. Josh Alexander played into it. Camaro Jackson, I think, is one of the up-and-coming guys that you don't know, especially locally. I've only seen him maybe a handful of times, but, each time I've seen him, it's more and more impressive every time. So, yeah, I would go with the curtain jerker.
You were very correct to say that it was when you said it was less than 3 hours, it's hard for a crowd at an event like that to get worn out if you keep it less than 3 hours. And that is, maybe not everybody gets the time that they think that they deserve. But as a fan sitting there, and I can only speak as a fan, I can't speak as a wrestler, it was perfect for me. It was just fucking perfect.
3 hours, I think, were programmed by WWE as the cutoff point. The 4 or 5, if it goes 6, that's AEW, New Japan World. That's where you start to lose some fans.
I loved Gary J versus Aaron Williams as the ladder match for the Gateway Heritage Championship. I expected to love that match. Mike Outlaw versus Alex Shelley was fucking great.
Another
Technical
guy
difficulties
that
versus West Coast Wrecking Crew. Those are 4 guys that I really didn't know at all, and they were 4 guys that popped me the entire time.
West Coast Wrecking Crew is a really good tag team. I see them a lot on New Japan Strong, part of Team Filthy.
When you're at a show like that, and I don't go to as many indie shows as I probably should, you didn't even mention Lucha Chris. It was great seeing Lucha Chris.
It was great seeing Lucha Chris. I didn't forget him per se, but
I get it.
He got us our ticket.
Well, he's part of the crew.
Yeah,
so
he's BFR fam.
Right, yeah. But
which that was cool to see too.
I don't go to as many indie shows as certainly he does or as you do, but when I go there, I like to get real into it. It's like, okay, so I'm here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chant and I'm going to hashtag boo the heels. I'm going to cheer the faces. And I'm going to yell at the fucking idiots that sit real close to the ring that decide to try to make themselves part of the show. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. When I used to play in bands, it was one of my biggest pet peeves when people would try to make themselves part of the show. Listen, there are performers and there is audience. And you, my friend, are an audience. So don't try, if you want to start chants, go ahead and start chants. I start chants.
Yeah, Bobbies.
Come on.
Yeah.
But don't try. There was a guy down at the front of the ring that was trying to get everybody to look at him so that he could get the crowd to do things. And Cedric, I got a text message from Cedric. I didn't even see Cedric.
I saw Cedric a couple of times.
He's like, man, you yelling at that bald dude to shut the fuck up. What's the funniest thing? Or I forget what he said. I don't think I was saying shut the fuck up. I think
you were saying shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck down. Yeah, I say dog, hits me up on Twitter. I didn't even see it like
yelling at that drunk bald guy was fucking great. And I replied, you're not part of the show.
I'm like, I look over at dog. He's looking at Mike's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm talking about shows like, I don't know what to tell you, dog.
What, when I was yelling at the dude? Fuck, shut the fuck up,
He's like, come get your boy. I'm like, he's doing what he wanted to do. I agree with that.
If you're not part of the show, don't act like you're part of the show.
I'm not going to sit up here and defend that man. He was definitely trying to
Don't tackle Dave
attention.
Chappelle. Don't go after the first base coach. Don't streak across the fucking field.
Don't fuck with Mike Tyson on
Don't
airplanes.
fuck with Mike Tyson. Well, I mean, that's
obvious, but people have done it.
That's not a show, though. I mean, I'm just talking about the show. Like, either you're part of the show or you're not. Don't try to be part of the show if you're not part of the show. Because you know what? The people that are part of the show have put in work to become part of the show. and you showed up drunk to a wrestling event and you tried to circumvent all that stuff to try to bring the attention on you, and you're taking away from these people that have done work, that have trained, that have worked out, that fucking lift weights, that do all this shit to get where they are, and it's not about you. Anyway, that's a little sorry.
That's right on point. Shout out to Samir and Sharif. Saw them at Grandel Wrestling on Saturday night. So, I mean,
great seeing them.
Yeah.
High five, Tom.
High five, Tom. About to say, we hung out afterwards after Grandel Wrestling or whatever. Talked about the good wrestling in St. Louis, just life in general. So, it's good to hang out with him. It sounds like we got tickets for Forbidden Door. So, high five, Tom. Strikes again. God bless that dude.
Jesus Christ.
Shut the fuck up. And in any event, I think if this is going to be a jumping off point for St. Louis wrestling, where we get, more national, wrestling events, WWE, AEW, shit like that. Hell, if Impact decided they wanted to roll in this motherfucker, GCW's coming into town here in a couple of weeks.
The national talent seemed happy. I know that a bunch of them showed up to the after party.
Yeah, saw them at the after party or
Jack
whatever.
Patrick's, which is...
Me and Mike Outlaw had a interesting conversation because we had the same sweatshirt on, so that was a little awkward. But all in all, it was a good time, man. Like I said, I'm happy for Joey. I'm proud for Joey. I don't know what this does for St. Louis on the national map of wrestling, but for this one day, we had the eyes of the world on us, and Joey did an amazing job, and I'm proud of him.
Totally agree. Without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
JCB, dealer's choice.
Since we have Backlash predictions, I guess we'll do that. And WWE releases towards the end. I'm going to steal a little thunder and do something I normally don't do. Usually I fall in the grenade and talk about the bad shit. But this week, I'm talking about the good shit. I'm talking about something that had me absolutely excited and ready to go. We're going to slide over to Japan and talk a little New Japan Wrestling for the weekend. The New Japan Golden Fight Series was concluded on Sunday, May 1st, with the main event being Okada versus Naito for the IWGP Championship. We can talk about that in a second. For those who don't know, May 1st in Fukuoka was when the Bullet Club was formed. Prince DeWitt, Backlash Fale, Carl Anderson, and Tama Tonga, they are known as the Core Four. So if you watch New Japan Wrestling and you hear Kevin Kelly refer to the Core Four, that's the Core Four. They turned on Taguchi and formed the Bullet Club, and you know the rest from there. So that's kind of the backdrop for the event, where this was basically the Bullet Club's birthday. And Bullet Club had an amazing fucking birthday, to say the least. Taishi Ijimori wins back the IWGP Junior Heavyweight, Light Heavyweight Championship from Desperado. I think that was my favorite match of the night. Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens win the IWGP Tag Team Championships in a bit of a surprise in a triple threat.
A bit of a surprise?
They pinned the right team, but we can break that down here in a second. Juice Robinson, comes back after Tanahashi wins the U.S. title over Ishii. They had to pull Will Ospreay from the match because he unfortunately caught COVID. They put Ishii in. Easy replacement. Another great fucking match. Ishii just doesn't have bad matches. I'm convinced on that.
That might have been my... I don't want to say that was my match of the night because of... Well, go ahead.
In the post-match, after Tanahashi won, Chase Owens comes out, which makes sense for those who are big New Japan fans. Chase Owens did defeat Tanahashi in the G1 and did not get a U.S. title match because obviously Tanahashi lost the title subsequently thereafter. So when Chase comes out, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Chase is going to go after double championship. And then a hooded figure comes out and it becomes Juice Robinson. Very surprising turn, just because rumors had Juice Robinson leaving New Japan Wrestling. I had him out the door pretty much. So I was trying to think where he would come up next.
Apparently, he waved goodbye to a crowd in Chicago, and he said all the right things.
That was us in Windy City Riot.
Yeah, it was it.
David Finley had scored the pin in that 6-man, and he was just kind of like, no, go ahead, take the flowers, get showered with the love. And that was one of the last times I saw Juice Robinson. And the next thing you know, I look up and I'm seeing Juice Robinson and Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens laying the boots on the Ace. Surprising turn of events, but for me, probably not the biggest surprise. For me, the biggest surprise is on the main event with Okada and Naito as the main event. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, Okada did retain. Sorry, I'm a Naito mark. That's just what I do every fucking time they get me. I know Okada's going to win. I know that, like, not Will Ospreay, but Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win the New Japan Cup. I know these things. But every fucking time I get sucked into the match just because I'm a big-ass Naito mark. So, of course, I get sucked into this match. Naito loses. Well, I don't even know I've ever seen the Cobra Twist from Okada before, but neither here nor there. Nice moveset to finish the match. I'm a little depressed, kind of forlorn about what's getting ready to happen. I see Okada in the ring celebrating. I'm feeling like, okay, this is probably a good time to go ahead and turn it off. And I'm getting ready to turn off the laptop, and then the lights go out. I'm like, okay. So in my knee-jerk reaction, I was saying before the match, it could either be Switchblade or Kota Ibushi to come out next to challenge Okada. And then it was Switchblade Jay Wright. And that's when things really got very, very interesting, to say the least. Switchblade throws out his challenge and then proceeds to destroy Okada with the help of the Bullet Club to finish the show. Like I said from the start, this was Bullet Club, happy birthday from start to finish. Tama Tonga, I forgot about Tama Tonga. One of the few, I wouldn't even say quote-unquote bright spots, but when House of Torture loses at any given point, that's always a good thing. When Evil lost to Tama Tonga for the Never Openweight Championship, I genuinely thought it was a surprise. I was waiting for more House of Torture fuckery. It didn't happen. Tama Tonga won, and I thought, we were going to ride off into the sunset, Tama Tonga on people's shoulders. Everybody's happy. The Good Brothers come out. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows proceed to destroy Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Jado, the whole shebang. Carl Anderson makes his challenge for the Never Openweight Championship. So even when Bullet Club doesn't lose, they still win. For me, like I said, 5-1 for New Japan was all Bullet Club all day long. I'm excited for where this is going to go. I've been waiting patiently for Jay White to come back. I think he is a key component in New Japan moving forward. He's the straw that stirs the drink as far as I'm concerned when it comes to heels over in New Japan. And the fact that he's back and all the chaos he's caused while he was gone, he's going to have to pay some dues, but I'm excited to watch this moving forward.
Spectacular event. We've been watching. We've never given up on New Japan, although I know a lot of the wrestling world has. We've been watching it through the entire pandemic, and Japan has been taking the pandemic more seriously than the U.S. That's not a controversial statement. This feels like New Japan has turned a corner and that we're getting back to maybe not normal, but we're getting back to New Japan where everybody's there. It seems like the roster has been limited and it's all been the same guys over and over again. The G1 didn't really have any surprises. We'll get to the best of the Super Juniors, which has a couple surprises. Mm-hmm. But this was a pay-per-view or an event that kind of what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like it moves the needle.
It's a Roman Reigns pay-per-view.
It moves the needle. Well, stuff happened. It's like, okay,
a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened, and it being Bullet Club's night, goes into what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, where there were rumors on the dirt sheets that there was going to be this long, multinational, multi-continental, multi-promotional Bullet Club angle that was going to be the Bullet Club overall. And maybe we're going to see a civil war. Maybe that civil war has started with Tama Tonga and Tongaloa getting kicked out and XYZ, right? I just like that there's a story. Now it's Bullet Club versus everybody, which I know gives you, I know it kind of, to Western fans, it's kind of like, well, isn't this NWO? It's like, yeah, it is NWO, which was fucking 24 years ago.
Guess where the NWO was born? In Japan.
Right. So now we have Juice Robinson joins Bullet Club. We have Ishimori wins. Love the match. I don't want to say my match of the night was Tanahashi Ishii, because my match of the night was probably Naito Okada, just because every single time those two guys have a match, they build a little bit off of
the match before.
The match before. And you're right. He won with that jackknife, which it even seemed to surprise the color commentator.
Again.
What's his
Kevin
name?
Kelly and Chris Charlton.
It even seemed to surprise Chris Charlton, who kind of has a encyclopedic knowledge of New Japan wrestling. I loved Ishii, Tanahashi. I love that there was a through line. You know, I was watching it today. My wife had some training today. I took the day off. I had a daddy-daughter day. I went to a little gym this morning. I don't know if you know what a little gym is, but it's a place where a bunch of moms in yoga pants go with their kids.
Oh.
And it's all babies. And all of a sudden, there's Bill wearing his Pelicans hat and his New Japan T-shirt. And they're like, okay, introduce yourself. I'm like, well, Bill, this is
okay, you had me all the way up to introduce yourself. I was like, fuck.
So,
I'm Uncle Jason.
I go, hey, I'm Bill, and this is Edna May. And and they were like, well, is your wife okay? I was like, yeah, she's not sick. She's just taking some classes today, so we're having a daddy-daughter day. And I swear to God, all 13 women at the exact same time, that's exactly what they did. They were like, oh, and I was like, God damn, this is easy. It's like
fish in a barrel.
Edna
May's coming with me for a couple weekends.
I'm telling you, hey, fellas out there, if you're single and you got a nephew or niece that age, offer to take him to Little Gym. Just be like, I'm uncle. We're just having an uncle-niece day. And oh my God.
Oh, you're so nice. God damn. I should have thought of this before. What the fuck?
Anyway, I mean, so I watched a lot of wrestling today. Me and Edna May did. She was playing, and we were eating applesauce and Greek yogurt and shit. And I watched it basically starting at 8 a.m. and I watched it over the next 6 hours as we had other stuff to do and everything. I was very surprised. I started with the tag match because I knew that was the first match of consequence. Really.
Yeah, for sure.
Started with that. Shocked that Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale won. Basically, really shocked that Cobb and Great O'Khan did not retain.
But they didn't get pinned.
They didn't. I
and that's the only redeeming. I get you. I get what you're saying. For them,
that's
for not
such
to
a wrestling contrivance, though. It's not my favorite wrestling contrivance. Like, it's hard to win. You shouldn't be able to win the belts without pinning the champs. But that's neither here nor there. That's been around for as long as wrestling.
It's the bad part about the triple threat.
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly about a tag triple threat.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm okay with it. The champs didn't get pinned. They're going to be next to get their title shot back. I didn't watch the backstage comments, but I'm sure that's going to be some sort of chatter with there. But I guess that kind of sets the tone for the Bullet Club day, Bullet Club birthday.
It did. Yeah, and it makes sense. It makes complete sense in hindsight.
For sure. Then I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Tama Tonga goes over Evil. I'm kind of... if you're going to make me suffer through 2 years of House of Torture and 2 years of Evil matches kind of sucking, I popped. I popped when they lost.
Yeah, I was very surprised just because I don't know
if it was worth 2 years of it, but
no, it's never worth 2 years of it.
I popped when he won.
I didn't expect him to win, honestly.
And it's a great way to make a baby face. If you're trying to make Tangaloa and Tama Tonga a baby face, group or tag team or whatever they
for
are.
lack of a better term, yeah.
The best way to have them do it is to go against House of Torture. Now, I'm going to skip ahead real fast just to ask you this question. House of Torture was not out at the end when Switchblade was out there with Bullet Club.
Right.
Is that part of the Civil War, or is House of Torture just not part of Bullet Club anymore? Because House of Torture was always kind of this offshoot.
Right. I don't think that in this scenario, House of Torture should have been a part of this Bullet Club celebration at the end where they're pouring beer on Okada, and it was basically Bullet Club. That to me is Bullet Club. They are House of Torture. Granted, they have the same tactics. It's basically fuckery. Get the guy over.
And the guys in House of Torture never quit Bullet Club.
No. When
Evil never quit Bullet Club.
When push came to shove, they were in on the Tama Tonga Loa attack. Okay, fair enough. Maybe this might be a civil war down the line. I had said when Jay White was gone and Evil was rising to prominence, one of the things I was looking forward to when Jay White came back was a Bullet Club civil war, for the top of the faction itself. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. It's probably going to be down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Jay White's been gone for a year. They said it was a year to the day. Jay White's been gone from Japan for a year to the day. At the time when Jay White left, you and me, and we haven't even brought up Zach Pullman. Sorry. Zach Pullman's not here tonight.
If you haven't guessed.
Dexter has his track. God damn, what we have to go back? Do we have to start over?
Rewind this whole shit.
What a bunch of dicks.
No. I got off on the wrestling, Grandel Wrestling tangent. Yeah. We forgot to say about Zach not being here.
Yeah, because he wasn't there either.
I think it's the fact that we have Backlash predictions. This is the week he had a track meet, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah, Dexter's track meet. Go get him, Dexter, at your
track meet.
No, really, go get him, Dexter.
Yeah, for real. Get that scholarship, boy.
But the last time we saw Jay White, all three of us were in agreement. This is the dude. Like, this guy cuts a fucking tremendous promo. He wrestles great matches. He wrestles different main event matches than you usually see in New Japan. It's so great to see him back, and it's really fun to see him kind of thrust into, hey, he's a leader. He's the leader of this shit.
Well, I think Kevin Kelly deserves a lot of credit for that, because as things were progressing, he always would say, and Jay White's the puppeteer, Jay White's the catalyst. I can't wait for Jay White to come back.
I thought he was 8,000 miles away.
And he's still pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So when he does come back, the crowd was just like, oh, you can't really say anything, but you could tell, like, they were shocked. It's a big deal in that aspect. You're not going to have him in a never open weight title scene. There is no Intercontinental Championship anymore, so there's only one place to go. Okada's a natural enemy. It all makes sense. I didn't realize it was a year. Now that you say it, it kind of feels like it's been a year. Either way, for me, like I said, the disappointment of another Naito loss and him putting somebody else over, and I know I said in the past that he should start putting guys over, but Zack Sabre Jr. to me is over. Okada's way the fuck over. So, I mean, that isn't necessarily where I was going with. Disappointment there.
He's leaving for surgery, though, too, right? He has an eye thing that's giving him double vision. Like,
that was news to me.
That's news for you right now?
Yes.
Like, I heard that he is going away because he's having eye surgery, that he's been having double vision real bad.
Now you don't?
Yeah. And that he's got to get taken care of, which is like, man, if he's having those matches with double vision.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you stole my thunder there. That makes sense, just the way things were kind of booked, where you kind of look moving forward. Naito is the only person that I can think of that doesn't have something down the line. You know what I'm saying? When they come to Washington, okay, with Tanahashi winning the title, Moxley had called him out at Windy City Riot. So then now Will Ospreay is like, well, fuck this. We're going to make it a triple threat match. And then all of a sudden I see yesterday they announced a fatal four-way with Juice Robinson, Ospreay, Tanahashi, and Moxley for the 15th in Washington for the U.S. title.
Whew.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys are killing me over here.
What?
Yeah, it was just announced like yesterday. I'm like, okay, let's not waste any time. I love it. I never thought that. I agree with you saying that New Japan was down. Never lost faith. It's still my number one. And like I said, for me, when Jay White came back, that has like reinvigorated me on New Japan. I want to see what happens next. Everybody, and I agree with you. There was a lot of just stagnant, matches, things that we've seen before, people we've seen before.
Doesn't make it bad.
It doesn't make it bad, but when you bring back Will Ospreay, when you bring back Jay White, that makes things more interesting.
What did you think about Ishii Tanahashi as a match, though? Like, weren't they both, like, you're so used to watching both of them wrestle their own matches, and then they both kind of, like,
wrestled the other guy's match. They even stole the other guy's move at a certain point during the match.
I love it when Tanahashi gets mad, when he just kind of gets pissed off. Like,
you don't see that from Tanahashi, and when you do see that, that's usually a scenario where, you've pushed a button you probably ain't got no business pushing. In this case, Ishii just wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
Ishii had him in the corner, was like, yeah, you can take a shot at me, but I'm gonna hold you in this corner. You ain't moving. And that was early in the match. Like I said, Ishii just doesn't have bad matches for me. A part of me wanted him to win this match just because I feel like, I don't want to say we've seen his ceiling when it comes to titles, but I don't know if we'll ever see him as the IWGP champion. There is no Intercontinental champion anymore. He's won the never 6 times. I totally forgot about the Kenny Omega match. He was in the inaugural.
He'll never be heavyweight champion.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I would love to see it. It just...
He's Japan's Mr. Perfect. It's not a bad thing to be. It's a good thing to be.
Ugh. Wow.
Tell me what you thought about Despy versus Ishimori.
Like I said, for me, this was my match of the night. If Ishii doesn't have bad matches, Desperado just definitely doesn't have bad matches. Obviously, with Best of Super Juniors coming up here in a few days, I was wondering who was going to be the champion coming in. I like Desperado a lot. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. If Hiromu Takahashi wasn't a thing in the junior heavyweight division, it would be Desperado and everybody else coming after him. Even when he being Desperado is the champion, it still kind of feels like it's Hiromu's division. So I wanted to see Desperado go on a nice little title run, get in the Best of Super Juniors, and then, if somebody beats him at that point, that would be his next contender. And then obviously whoever wins BSOJ will be having a title match with him probably at Dominion. Unfortunately, I shouldn't even say unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Taiji Ishimori is, I think, one of the 2 or 3 best junior heavyweights I've seen in the world, and he and Desperado just have another incredible match with reversals all across the board. The tap out for me was, I don't necessarily hate it, just because Ishimori was working the arm very much from the start of the match. I shouldn't say from the start of the match, but let's just say 5-10 minutes in, all the way to the finish. You had Ishimori work the arm inside the ring, work the arm on the ring post, and then ultimately it led to one of the better finishes of the night where he taps out Desperado. Like I said, for me, I don't have
a cripple crossface.
I don't know if they can say cripple crossface, but yeah.
Well, Japan can.
This is true. Like I said, for me, this is one of those matches where it was a coin flip coming in. It wouldn't have mattered who won for me, because I think that, like I said, they're 2 of the 3 best junior heavyweights in the world. I'm not even going to just go with New Japan. I'll put the whole world into it, and you can figure out who you want as the third guy. But for me, this was a nice way to lead into BSOJ, where they announced the BSOJ field. We could talk about that in a second. But like I said, for me, I did not have a problem with this. These two can wrestle a best of 7, and I would be down for a best of 7 because I think it would go to 7 matches. No one guy would have more of a 2-win, streak over the other. I would almost say, like I said, one guy will win, the other guy will win. It's a true rivalry in the junior heavyweight division.
Well, we talked about the tag match. We talked about the U.S. match. We talked about the main event. We talked about the junior heavyweight match. We talked about the never match. Let's move on to the Battle of the Super Juniors, which I think that the biggest, certainly for a Western audience, which I am. I don't know if you guys knew this. I am Western. Certainly for a Western audience, the biggest surprise is that in the B block, we have Wheeler Yuta, which means that Wheeler Yuta most likely will be off of AEW television for probably a month.
They said this match, they said the tournament would go 3 weeks. So yeah, let's just say a month.
It's the same format as the G1, where there's an A block and a B block. We have the ROH Pure Champion. We have the the Impact X Division Champion. We have Wheeler Yuta. I always say it fucked up. Wheeler Yuta. Who else am I missing?
I got it pulled up right here.
We have TJP.
Yeah,
is in it?
That's the other one that I was going to say. Yep. A block in no particular order. You got Hiromu Takahashi. You got Taguchi Ishimori, who, like I said, just became the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Kanemaru, always underrated. I expect him to have good matches. Sho, Ace Austin, like Bill said, X Division Champion. Yo, so Sho and Yo are going to have to battle each other out in the A block. Clark Connors from New Japan Strong, one of the up-and-coming guys. Francisco Akira is the Fireball guy that you were making fun of last week for the United Empire. He's on the A block side. And
I was making fun of him?
Yeah, you were making fun of him.
What did I say about him?
He looked like a little kid.
Yeah, that's right.
And Alex Zane is the last member of the A block. I like Alex Zane a lot. He's going to have some incredible matches as well. Not sure if he's going to win any matches, but he's going to have some.
Does he look like a little kid?
He looks like a little kid with a lighter. So, I mean, he does have some facial hair, but he's very young in the face.
My dad calls those horse whiskers. I remember when I was 13, and I was like, I'm going to let these hairs grow out. My dad was like, shave those horse whiskers.
Might as well pluck them motherfuckers out at this point. It's like only 4 or 5. On the B block side.
Just fucking acne dripping off my face. Just so greasy.
God, I hated my teen years so fucking bad.
Nah, just send boys away from the ages of 13 to 18. They
Bring
can
it back
come back. Yeah, they can come back when they can act right. Can you act right?
You getting a job, right? No. Get your ass back in this car. We driving back to military school. B block is Desperado, Master Wato, Doki. El Lindemann is another new, I guess, entrant into BSOJ. He's part of the Strong Hearts faction. He and Desperado were talking a little shit before Desperado lost the title, maybe doing a unification bout of some sort. They're on the B block side, so their paths are definitely going to cross. Robbie Eagles, Teton from CMLL, Bushi, Will Yuta just brought up, TJP just brought up, and El Phantasmo round out the B block. So you got 20 guys.
That B block is
stacked. I was wondering which block was going to be stacked, and I was watching as, they were naming the guys off, and I'm looking at it, A block, B block, and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, that B block.
I think for
wrestling, better and better.
For wrestling, this is the best format to watch. I want to see everybody fight everybody,
right?
And then you tell stories throughout
along the way. If you could do it and do it right. Obviously, I believe this is the 29th edition of the Best of the Super Juniors. So, for New Japan, this is what they do. For WWE, this ain't what they do.
No,
so I would never expect them to do a tournament and do it in a way that would be aesthetically pleasing for myself.
Well, that's what's cool about wrestling, is that there's something for everybody. You can watch all sorts of promotions. You don't have to hate anything, guys. You can like stuff. You don't have to hate stuff. You can just like stuff more than you like the other stuff. What do you think Wheeler Yuta is going to do in this? Because this definitely signifies a pretty we know that there's this Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up that's going to be New Japan guys versus AEW guys.
Right.
Wheeler Yuta, who is one of the guys that AEW was pushing the most. I mean, the guy is in a faction right now with Regal, Danielson, and Moxley. And he is the Randy Orton of the Evolution.
Yeah.
You know? So this is the guy that they are pushing the most, and they are sending him to Japan to fight for 3 weeks in the Battle of the Super Juniors. That's exciting to me. That says, as a mark for both promotions, to me that says that this might be a stronger alliance between these two promotions than we actually even thought, even after hearing about Forbidden Door.
He being Wheeler Yuta, I think, is the litmus test for how strong, I guess, this partnership is. Impact and AEW tried it, didn't really work out. There's plenty of people that said that, AEW got the better of the deal. Impact didn't get anything. I don't agree with that, but that's another argument for another time. I would really be surprised if out of 10 matches, he'll wrestle 9. 6-3 sounds about right.
12 points?
12 points. I would think.
I was going to say 10, but 12 points is. I could see him
5-4, 6-3.
Dropping one to Robbie Eagles, maybe. Dropping one to El Phantasmo.
Maybe TJP.
Maybe. But they're going to make him look strong.
And I think that's what the biggest thing you have to have going moving forward is, especially if you're going to have this partnership with AEW and New Japan, you can't have Wheeler Yuta come over here and look like a chump.
Plus, he's going to go over there, he's going to wrestle Battle of Super Juniors, and he's going to come back that much better because he's going to be fighting at least 9 matches, unless he comes out of the block, maybe 10 matches. He's going to be fighting 9 matches that aren't American-style matches. They're going to be Japanese-style matches.
He'll be just fine.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm saying he's going to come back as a stronger wrestler. Like, what a learning opportunity for him. And this is, I'm not trying to be condescending. It's just there are different styles in wrestling, and him going over there and wrestling with these guys is going to be fucking awesome.
It's not even New Japan is a different wrestling style per se, because if you want to just fall into Blackpool Combat Club, they feel like a strong style, faction. So, I mean, underneath it all, he's going over to a company that, caters to what BCC does. Now, that being said, there will be some Lucha Libre. There will be guys that have submissions going on, So in that scenario, Wheeler Yuta, I think, is going to be one of the guys to watch out for, just to see how well he does. Because if he comes over there and they make him look like a chump, that's a bad sign. But I don't think that's the case.
Nah,
he's going to be one of those guys.
I mean, it's not like he's a slouch.
He's going to be one of those guys that can match up pretty much with any style thrown at him, and he's going to have different styles at him because, like I said, that B block is stacked.
So, New Japan turning the corner. Not that it's been bad, but it's opening up again, and it's getting ready to be exciting
back to
again.
Where we remembered it 4 years ago when we walked in the door.
And for me, for this podcaster, I'm excited. Let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, I'll take the bad news. So
we talking WWE? Damn.
Yeah. Well. Oh, that's right. You said let's wait till the end. Okay, we can wait till the end. I'll take I'll take AEW then. AEW. I was watching, as you could probably see. I was outside when you walked in. I was watching Rampage.
That Darby Swerve match was on point.
Yes, it was great. Darby and Swerve was great. I'll have a little bit more to say about Darby later on. Starts off with Bobby Fish versus Jeff Hardy.
We're talking Dynamite?
Yeah, we're going to talk Dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to watch the rest of Rampage. I assume Samoa Joe won.
Yes, in I won't say destructive fashion, but the finish was pretty stiff. Uranagi
Muscle buster
from the corner. No, he put him to sleep, man. I was about to say, you looked up. Ref wasn't even like, Trent, are you okay? He looked over there. Trent, no, ring the bell. So basically, referee stoppage. Joe retains.
All due respect to Trent Beretta, he shouldn't be looking very good against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe should be killing him.
It wasn't like Samoa Joe killed him, but the finish was pretty decisive. I'll go that far.
Wait, was it Trent Beretta or was it what's the other guy's name?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't do this to yourself. Don't overthink it.
Hold on, let me try that again. Was it Trent Beretta or was it Chuck Taylor?
I can't tell you two apart.
Shit, sorry. Was it Trent Beretta or was it Chuck Taylor?
I can't tell you two apart.
You sure can't for shit.
I'm sorry that took so long. I got other ones too. That was one of my drops that I was excited about. Was Matt Riddle telling the Usos he couldn't tell who was who. That's so funny to me.
You need to put that on as an official drop at this point.
We don't have that many.
You got 8.
Anyway.
Shit, don't worry about it, Riddle. I can't tell them motherfuckers.
Who do you think is older, Bobby Fish or Jeff Hardy? Now, me asking the question.
I was going to say I would think it would be Bobby Fish.
Yeah, Bobby Fish is older.
Okay, he's in his
older.
40s.
Well, so is Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think he's that much older, but I think he's about 6 months older or something like that. Anyway, this was a fun match. Enjoyed it.
Right guy went over.
Didn't watch it very closely. I think the big thing was the Young Bucks came out and stared at the Hardys for a while, and that's something that people want to see.
We've seen it before in ROH, and I know ROH isn't, the thing that it is now, but for those High Five Time and others, for those who really liked ROH, we've done this before. We're just teasing it again. How do we get there is the question. Because, every time you look up, we're teasing another possible match with somebody down the line. We got to start connecting the dots and getting there.
The funny thing to me is that these two teams look like they're from different generations. The Hardys still look, especially Jeff Hardy, with the ripped armbands, and he wrestles in his pink fucking Under Armour shirt and everything.
Let that man do his due.
No, I know, but he still looks like he's from 96. He still looks like he's from the Hardy Boys with a Z, And then you have Nick or Matt Jackson.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's out there. Sorry, hold on a second. Nick or Matt Jackson.
I can't tell you two apart.
He's out there wearing beach shoes. He's wearing boat shoes, and he's got super tight shorts on, and he's wearing basically like a Don Ho shirt, and he's wearing a fedora. It's like, what the fuck is he wearing? Or not a fedora, but a Kroger. They just look like they're from different planets. But we want to see them wrestle. But they're the same though, because it's brothers versus brothers. They're both high flyers. They're both a tag team. And it makes sense. It makes sense to see them go against each other, even though they really do look like they're from two different planets.
Hardy set the table for the Young Bucks. Obviously, they're the influence on the Bucks. So for those who didn't see the ROH version, you're probably going to see the AEW version. It's just a matter of when and where. Obviously, the tag titles are the biggest issue. You really can't, which is sad. The tag titles are the biggest issue. We're going to probably see Hobbs and Starks versus Jurassic Express here in a little bit. I would expect Jurassic Express to retain, and then the Double or Nothing. I hope that's not their Double or Nothing tag match. I would like to expect to see a bigger Double or Nothing tag match.
Jurassic Express
versus fill in the blank.
FDR, right?
I was going with Blackpool Combat Club. I think it's time to pull the trigger on that.
Well, that would be great. I'm telling you, if Jurassic Express goes against Blackpool Combat Club, the BCC, They probably need to go over in about 7 or 8 minutes. It's got to be.
No.
I mean, you're talking about 2 heavyweight champions. Okay, that's fine. That's neither here nor there. We'll get there when we get there. Blackpool Combat Club faces Angelico.
Nice
Butcher and the Blade versus Angelico. It was pretty funny listening to Regal. He was like, Angelico? And they're like, yeah, no, it's Angelico. He's like, I know him as Angelico. It's like, okay, Regal, whatever, dude. Fucking old man.
Say you better pronounce that man's name right.
This match, I said last week, I was like, I'm ready for Blackpool Combat Club to do a little bit more. Not much more to say. Now, there is something to say about this next segment, which was Wardlow. And then, not a big secret. I mean, MJF put it out there last week. He said you can't teach that. He brings out William Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, in WWE. What did you think about this, Jason?
The Wardlow angle feels like it's part Steve Austin, part Goldberg. Steve Austin being the part where Wardlow's in handcuffs.
That's a fucking great way to put it.
I thought of it today. It was kind of weird. Austin being in the handcuffs constantly, and then Goldberg portion, obviously, with the crowd chanting Wardlow, him coming from the back with security. It's a weird dynamic, or not dynamic, but a weird marriage of angles, so to speak. But neither here nor there. The match itself I thought was fine. Obviously, we knew who was going to win. The 2 biggest takeaways for me is, number one, Wardlow has athleticism that he shouldn't be having as a 200 and I'm guessing 50, 60-pound man. The moonsault off the top where he kind of landed on his feet but then, fell back over. I honestly think if Morrissey wasn't in the way, he could do a moonsault off the top and land on his feet. He's just that damn athletic. It's now starting to be scary to see the potential Wardlow could have moving forward. They're taking their time with him, which is a good thing. There's plenty of guys up at the top where they can fight for the AEW title as Wardlow kind of builds himself up. And number 2, obviously, the powerbomb itself. I was waiting for 2 or 3 more, but the one was brutal enough to where it kept Morrissey down. Short match, no problem with that as well, because obviously we set up the MJF Wardlow match for Double or Nothing afterwards.
I have a lot of thoughts about this segment. The first one being they unintentionally now have Wardlow with one of the greatest entrances in wrestling today, which is no music, walking down in handcuffs with a bunch of guys flocking him, making sure he doesn't act up. That's a cool entrance.
It works.
It works, and it is working.
It is working. Better choice of words, yeah.
The second one being William Morrissey. I'm glad to see him back. I always liked him. I thought that he was fantastic in this match. I thought that when the crowd started chanting the Enzo stuff, we want Enzo, no we don't. We want Enzo, no we don't. And he started doing
the Enzo
shit. And he was like, fuck you. He's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, this is my time. Perfect stuff. And Shivani was really great in this segment, too. Shivani being like, I think he's paying too close attention
to the crowd.
And he was like, well, I think JR goes, anytime you pay attention to the crowd, it's too much, Morrissey, third thought is on, in the internet wrestling community, when people are like, how can you waste Big Cass, a.k.a. William Morrissey, like this? It's like they didn't waste him. He put over Wardlow, and he's not under contract. They probably gave him a pretty nice paycheck to fly out to wherever they were. I forget where they were. Baltimore. Oh, yeah, because the John Harbaugh stuff.
Sorry, Bloodgirl Raven. I'm sorry.
We'll get to it.
You said John Harbaugh. What if you'd have just said Baltimore and just left it alone? I wouldn't even said anything.
But he flew out there. They probably gave him a pretty nice paycheck. He took one big bump. I mean, it was William Morrissey is probably not used to being powerbombed like that.
No.
There's not a lot of guys that can powerbomb him like that. And he got powerbombed the fuck out of. He probably got a nice paycheck. That's what wrestling is. So they didn't waste William Morrissey. If they signed him,
did you expect him to come over and win that match? I mean, come on.
No,
you should know what was going to happen.
If they sign him, then we're talking about something different.
For sure.
But they didn't sign him. He was there to put Wardlow over.
Which he did. Check.
The fourth thing is that when they started sending guys out to cuff him, and then Wardlow starts beating him up, and then they send another bunch of guys out to cuff him.
What did you think of?
Austin.
I was thinking Neo from The Matrix when all the Agent Smiths were coming out of nowhere. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, that too, though. And he tosses the one guy into it, you know. But that crowd got so hot during the second round of him beating guys up. So he beats up 10 guys or whatever.
We've seen that before.
I know, but
no, I agree with you. When that next wave came out, the crowd was like, I'm like, what the fuck?
And then he beats them up down. And that crowd was off the charts, out of their mind. He was so over in that minute. They are real. And MJF comes out and he says, I'll give you the match, but there's some stipulations, and I'll tell you about them next week in the greatest place in the world, Long Island, New York. That's good wrestling, guys. That is good storytelling, because I wanted to hear the stipulations right there. I was like, tell me the stipulations. And they were like, nope, you got to tune in next week. And now I had to tune in next week because I want to know what the stipulations are, because I want to know what's going to happen when Wardlow eventually wins, because this has been... if Zach was here, I'm going to say exactly what Zach would say. This has been one of the best long-term stories that has happened in wrestling probably since Omega Page.
It has been very good. I'm invested in it. I would be lying if I said otherwise. I would like to. A part of me almost wishes that MJF wins the Double or Nothing match, so you can drag it on a little longer.
Me too. I'm with you
because
there.
they're doing that good of a story. But I guess the question is, if he won that match being MJF, what do you do now?
If Wardlow gets his hands on MJF, though, he's got to win.
You would like to think Shawn Spears is going to be a part of it. FTR as the pinnacle.
Shawn Spears is such a dork, man.
But he's the heater. Okay, there's no other heater between Wardlow and MJF at this point. So
they should put Shawn Spears and the Acclaimed in a trio and just have them all get swirlies every fucking week.
The Acclaimed already got new partners. We can talk about that.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Adam Page comes out and cuts a promo. Kind of, I don't know if it was heelish, but it was definitely, it's like brother-in-law Steve. It's like brother-in-law Steve said on Friends of BFR last night. He was like, "Was that a heel promo from Adam Page?" I don't know if it was a heel promo. It's only a heel promo because CM Punk is a face. But if you come out there and you say, "Hey, man, I'd like to say I respect you, but really I'm just going to beat your ass," that's a babyface promo if you're talking about a heel. It's a heel promo if you're talking about a babyface. If it's babyface versus babyface, I don't know. I just think that's what you want. Like,
is it? I'm going to destroy you.
You thought it was a heel?
I'm going to embarrass you. You're going to take that. You're going to take that shirt back and exchange it or burn it.
Yeah, I didn't think that was
okay. Heelish. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of glad that Adam Page is kind of going this route. It sets up to the traditional heel versus babyface motif that we all know, and some of us love, others of us don't. I don't care. If we see Adam Page do this again next week and the bill going up to Double or Nothing, he would become the heel because CM Punk is so over.
Two Beer Zach had a really good point on Steve's post on Friends of BFR on Facebook, which you're welcome to join. If you're listening to us and you're on Facebook, find Friends of BFR, hit us up. We will let you in. It's a fun conversation about wrestling pretty much every day.
When shit comes up, we talk about it.
Yeah. What Zach said was a pretty good point, is that if CM Punk's going to win, you have to keep him as a face if he's going to lose it to MJF.
For sure.
Now, I don't know if he's going to lose it to MJF. MJF could be another 18 months away from winning that thing, because MJF is one of those rare guys in wrestling, maybe not so much AEW, but certainly he's one of those rare guys that can have a feud that means something that doesn't have to have a belt attached to it. So I'm not sure that MJF's going to be the guy to take it off of Punk. I think it could be Omega. I think it.
I'm not bringing up his name until I see him physically have a match. As far as I'm concerned, we're still ways away from that.
There's lots of things that can happen, though.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay, but Kenny Omega winning the title off of Punk means he would have to come back fairly soon, I would say in the next couple months. I don't see that happening.
Well, the next couple months is Forbidden Door.
I'll go this far. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kenny Omega, but I would be shocked to see him in a match at Forbidden Door.
Lethal comes out and cuts a promo off of this guy from Japan that I'm not familiar with. Apparently he's been wrestling on Dark.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're familiar with him.
No, actually, DDT is one of the few Wrestle Universe promotions I don't watch. It feels like it's a little too much comedy for me, but it might be great for others. I haven't seen. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Takeshita, I believe is what his name is. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen him, so what happens next week will be news and worthy watch for me. I'm curious, just because the few clips that I see are impressive. It is against Jay Lethal, who's one of the better guys in the game. So in that scenario, I'm intrigued to see the match, but I have no idea who this guy is.
Next up, we have Santana versus Jericho.
Dude, don't make me slam this shit down. I'm sick of it.
Okay,
I'm really fucking sick of it.
Well, then right after that, do you really not want to talk about it?
No, we can talk about it.
I mean, if you're...
No, it's just... I'm going to say what I've always said, and this is just more of... I get it. It's the JAS with the numbers game. I get it. God damn, just pick somebody else. Fuck. It is hard to watch Santana Ortiz lose every fucking time.
Would you rather talk about Santana and Jericho, or would you rather talk about Gun Club and the Acclaimed?
We can talk about both, man, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't want to talk about either.
Gun Club and the Acclaimed are going to be some straight-up heat magnets. That's what I'll say about that.
So they're buddies now?
For the moment, it's going to implode. I mean, you can't have two heel tag teams together and have them get along. I mean, fuck, at some point, Billy Gunn's going to say something racist, and then next thing you know, be like, what the fuck just happened?
Billy Gunn is going to be racist?
I was joking. I don't know if he's racist.
You heard it right here. Jason Cornelius Bell called Billy Gunn racist. Well, the Santana Jericho thing, I'm on record as saying that Jericho Appreciates Society is not my favorite thing. Jericho probably needs to take like 6 months off. I think that him getting over and them beating up Ortiz and then it's 4-on-1 and then Eddie Kingston can't come out. It's like they have just gone over and over and over LAX and Eddie Kingston. I need some sort of make it look like a fair or make it look like an even fight at some point, right?
It's not even, obviously, because
that's fine, but have Eddie Kingston lock two guys in his trunk or something. I don't know. Do something.
Now that's, I guess, kind of my frustration with this angle. When on Rampage where Santana jumps Jericho to set up this match. Okay, so your boy just got fireballed, and you're just going to let some security guys just stop you? No, that needed to be a ass-kicking either to the ring or to the back where Jericho doesn't come back out for commentary. That just ended way too easy.
What the best part about that segment was?
Do it right.
Best part about that segment was Santana did a suicide dive on Jericho before the fans got to the chorus of Judas in My Mind.
Right.
Shut those motherfuckers up. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Stop fucking singing along that song. That song fucking sucks.
And once again, even when, you had the baby face in this scenario, Santana, doing the right thing, acting, pissed off, you just can't do me, you can't do my boy like this, he still loses.
You guys think I'm a wrestling snob? I'm more of a music snob. I promise. That song fucking sucks. And if you guys like it, well, that's fine. Like what you like.
Yeah, like what you like, man.
Okay, so Varsity Blondes come out. Brian Pillman Jr.
Interesting.
Did you know that John Harbaugh was college roommates with Brian Pillman?
No, not at all.
That's bizarre, right?
When they said it, I was like, what?
When they showed John Harbaugh, I was like,
okay,
they're in Baltimore. They're like, college roommates with Brian Pillman. I was like, huh?
What? I was like, John Harbaugh doesn't seem like a wrestling fan to me.
Nah, he doesn't.
You know,
Jim Harbaugh does.
Jim Harbaugh, yeah, he seems like that dude. You know, he's like way over the top. John
it's so
is more
good.
like,
Zach's out here. Zach would have no idea what we're talking about. He's like, Harbaugh. Huh?
John feels more like, come on, guys. We need to be disciplined. Let's get this shit together. Jim would be like the fucking manager
Brian
of some
Pillman Jr.
team.
cuts a promo basically about John Harbaugh.
Pretty much, get me back on track. I was, floating.
The crowd started chanting something, and John Harbaugh was like, "Okay,
yeah, calm it down. Let's focus back on."
Were
Brian
they booing him? I can't imagine them booing him.
No.
Like he's a fucking great coach, right?
Oh hell yeah, he's a great coach. Shit, it's part of the reason I hate his ass.
Oh man, that was for you, Blood Girl Raven.
No,
I got him to admit that John Harbaugh was a great coach. House of Black comes out. They've been severely underused. They have not built up Buddy Matthews enough. Death Triangle comes out and
he
makes
just
a
got
save.
there, but yeah.
Varsity Blondes, he comes out, cuts this great promo, and then he gets his ass kicked.
Well, no, it was the fucked up part about it for me was, so you see House of Black come down, I'm thinking it's like, okay, this is a match. And they get in the ring, and then, you have Brian Pillman cut this impassionate promo. We're going to get back on track. We're going to start right now. And then they put House of Black in front of them, and they don't do anything. I'm like, okay, all right, here it is. Let's kick somebody's ass.
I'll be honest. That looked to me like it was some shoot shit where, like, House of Black was out there to fuck with him because they just stared at him like Brian Pillman kept looking. What's the other guy's name?
Griff Garrison.
His name's Griff Garrison?
Griff Garrison.
I never would have gotten that. You could have cut my eyelids off and had ants pouring on me and be like, what's his name? I'd be like, I don't know, fucking Griff Garrison?
Damn, dog. At that point, I remember, man, you ain't cut my eyelids off. Shit, just GG, I got it.
But they were staring, and Malachi Black just stares at him forever to where, like, he kept looking back at Griff Garrison like, is this guy serious? And then they just got their asses wet.
So he gets kicked in the face, and then it goes all.
Thanks for coming, John Harbaugh.
Thanks for that impression.
Oh, you were my dad's best friend.
Right.
You always told me. Thwap.
Yeah, I was going to say, great speech, fucking Brian Pillman, and get your ass.
I gotta get saved by Pac.
Junior Hart was the only thing I was even concerned with at that point. Hit this motherfucker with the chair and flip, and let's move on. Let's stop dragging that part out too.
Jade Cargill with the baddies, they're great. Ray Phoenix versus Dante Martin. Did you watch this match?
Yes.
Those motherfuckers could have fought for another 10 minutes. It would have been fucking great. Do you know what I heard about this? And I don't know if you heard this, is that in the commercial break, Ray Phoenix took off his mask and gave it to Dante Martin like as a sign of respect, like, hey man, you got it. Not like I'm retiring, but like as a total like sign of respect, which makes a lot of sense because when they did that backflip off the turnbuckle and
like
then they
both Spanish fly and they landed on their feet,
and they both landed on their feet.
I'm like, dude, stop this match right now. Stop this. You two are doing too goddamn much.
That is That's a match that's not for the purists, but if you like the high-flying stuff, that match fucking ruled. What you think about it?
Man.
And doesn't that Ray Phoenix story, doesn't that shine a little bit a light on it? Because Dante Martin's like 20?
Yeah.
21?
Unfortunately, once again, his brother got hurt in what they are calling a serious car accident. He's going to be out another 6 to 9 months. I don't know if you can put off Dante Martin for another 6 or 9 months. Every time he comes out, he has a barn burner match with fill in the blank. In this case, this week, it's Ray Phoenix. I was good to see Ray Phoenix come back. A part of me was like, he's coming to the ring. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to change up his style a little bit, play a little safer, moving forward after coming back from this latest injury. Nope, he's walking the ropes within the first 2 minutes of the match. I'm like, all right, Ray Phoenix, I ain't mad at you, dog. Do what you do. I I don't know if either guy is going to be here long term for 2, 3, 5 years down the line, but I would love to see like Dante Martin and Ray Phoenix come back 2 years from now, where Dante is like a champion at this point, maybe TNT champion, and then revisit this again and have Dante Martin go over to kind of reestablish. Even I wouldn't even call it, give it the receipt, but just, even things up. So that way you can kind of really establish Dante Martin as a future single star.
First of all, Ray Phoenix might be the best wrestler, the best high-flying, like, luchador-style wrestler in the world. I don't know if there's somebody better.
I like Dragon Lee a lot. That's just me, but neither here nor there. Ray Phoenix, we can go with that. I mean, we're splitting hairs, really and truly.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs. I love that story about him taking the mask off and giving it to Dante Martin, because they really did have a fun match. They had that crowd, and the AEW crowd is not the WWE or NXT crowd where they start chanting, "This is awesome," after 2 minutes. It's a crowd that's a little bit harder to get, I guess. Harder to please, but they also fill their roster with better wrestlers and better matches. But they were saying fight forever after 6 minutes. It was a fun match.
Entertaining match of the night for me at this point. Like I said, I want to see them run this back at some later point down the line and establish Dante Martin as that.
This would be the match that I would say, if you haven't watch this week's Dynamite, go out of your way and watch
that match.
Watch
yeah,
this
for
match.
sure.
Yep.
It's the one must-watch match.
Coming up, this is my favorite part. This is Darby Allin and Sting cut a promo backstage about Darby's upcoming match with Jeff Hardy.
Right.
So, now I took a little bit of audio tape about this.
Okay.
This is Darby Allin's promo trying to build everybody up to this match. You ready for it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready for it. Like, really strap down, because
Hang on, let me get a cigarette going.
This is really something.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
There's not a lot to say about this, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself. It's going to be a special night.
So that was his whole promo. Not a lot.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Not a lot you can say about this, Jeff.
It's going to be a special night.
It's going to be a special night. Really gets me pumped about it. Now, that's not the whole promo.
There's not a lot to say.
Hold on. Not a whole lot. Now, what I haven't done is let you hear what Sting says afterwards.
Okay.
Which is actually really gets me pumped up.
About this, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself. It's going to be a special night.
Woo, here we go.
Yep, Jeff, I know you're going to pull out all stops.
Uh-huh.
Darby, I know he's going to pull out all stops as well. And yeah, it's going to be a special night.
Oh, my God. Promo of the year from those guys, huh? It's going to be a special night, huh?
Yeah,
not a whole lot. The match kind of writes itself. What a fucking... What charisma. Oh, my God. What absolute fucking star power we have in here in Darby Allin and Sting. Oh, my God. They're so fucking great. Don't you want to see that match now, though? Don't you want to see that match? The match kind of writes itself.
See, you taking shots at both Two Beers boys when he ain't here, man. I don't think that's cool.
It has nothing to do with Two Beers. That is dumb.
It was not a very good promo. I'll agree with that.
There's not a lot to say about this, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself. It's going to be a special night.
Woo!
Yep, Jeff, I know you're going to pull out all stops.
Yep, Jeff.
Darby, I know he's going to pull out all stops.
He's going to do it too.
And
It was a good start.
It's going to be a special night.
Oh! That's my promo of the year. Fucking, I already made my note on my phone. That's going to be my promo of the year.
Man, good.
What are these guys doing? What kind of fucking promo is that? Why would they even put that on TV?
I don't know.
Why would they put that on TV? That sucks so fucking bad.
I was waiting for Sting.
It's going to be a special night.
Well, I was waiting for Sting to take that special night and build up on it, and all he did was just kind of like pass the buck to the left. I was like, okay.
I want to see guys fight. I want to see you fight. I want to see you try to win for something.
Who's Darby Allin's first round match?
What? For what?
For the Owen Hart tournament. They announced the brackets or whatever.
I don't know. You want me to look it up?
No.
I mean, who gives a fuck? Like, what a terrible promo. Why does Tony Khan even put that on fucking TV? That sucks.
They didn't have a match.
I mean, that sucks.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, okay? I'm trying to...
There's no disagreeing. You couldn't disagree if you wanted to.
I'm trying to reach, okay, for something to justify that promo being on the card. I don't really have anything. That's why I was asking, who is Darby Allin facing? It wasn't very good. Like I said, I expected Steen.
This, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself. It's gonna be a special night.
Bad.
Hold on one more time. Hold on. Here we go.
There's not a lot to say about this, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself.
Pause.
It's gonna be a special night.
Come on, man. Say it.
How about you, Sting?
Yeah, Jeff, I know you're going to pull out all stops.
Yep, Jeff.
Darby, I know he's going to pull out all stops as well. And yeah, it's going to be a special night.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Oh, God, that's a barn burner, huh?
Jeff Hardy. Okay, that's the answer. Yeah, I would like to think you would want to build that up more than just say it's just a special night. You know what I'm saying?
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
You'd like to do a little bit more than just say it's a special night.
Jeff Hardy's a former champion. Okay, talk about that.
Anything, how you grew up watching him,
something.
Maybe how much it mean to you to
beat somebody that you looked up to. Build on the special night comment.
Maybe be like, I bought the pay-per-view, you versus this guy, and
yeah.
you were drunker than shit, and he couldn't do it, so he had to put you down with a fucking...
No. We can't do that. That's heel shit.
That John Silver promo just after this, when he's facing CM Punk next week, also pissed me off. It was too jokey. And you know what?
I wouldn't say jokey. It was just over the
Deonna
top.
Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez. What you think of it?
I have thoughts.
It was ROH versus ROH, and
no,
I think that Tony Khan needs to know that if you're going to make this the main event of a Dynamite, you have to build it up throughout the show. You have to have, a vignette here, a backstage promo here, a backstage promo here. You just can't put on Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez at the end of a Dynamite and be like, well, here's what I did. I had a women's match, and it's cool. I have a women's match.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I think they did have a vignette with Mercedes Martinez basically saying,
I have a child. Maybe I missed it. I was watching.
Between Dynamite and Rampage, there was a Mercedes Martinez vignette. Okay, I'm not saying on which show it was.
This is almost patricide. Like, I am with child. I am trying to hang out all day. Sorry I missed it.
I'm not saying, look.
I'm just saying I'm right.
Okay.
Even if they had the vignette and the backstage promos?
They had a vignette.
Well, shit. Maybe I'm not right.
Okay, now that being said, one of my biggest problems with this match build-up is how we got to this match. When they did, I guess that was the weekend of WrestleMania, it was the multitude of matches, and then ROH had their pay-per-view the same night. Deonna Purrazzo was scheduled for the Impact, which she is an Impact contracted star. She was scheduled for the Impact tapings and not going to the Ring of Honor show. I can't think of the name of the show where Bandino and Jonathan Gresham were the main event. Anyway, so on that show, the ROH show, they had the interim title saying that Deonna couldn't show up. It's not that she couldn't show up. She's just contracted to another company. So let's not act like she didn't show up, couldn't show up. I would almost rather she be hurt And then you did this interim match, which is another thing I don't like about Tony Khan, this interim title shit. Okay, you ain't UFC, motherfucker. Let's not act like we are just giving out titles to give out titles. Motherfucker, either wait a couple weeks or figure this shit out and then make an interim championship. Don't just do it because Deonna Purrazzo can't show up to a show that you know she can't show up to.
From what I heard, though, Deonna Purrazzo called up the local news station, and she said, it's going to be a special night.
You ain't shit. Anyway, I don't like the build coming up to this match. I love the fact that we have this match because it's two of my favorite women's wrestlers.
It's going to be a special night.
I just didn't like the build. The match was not nearly as long enough as I thought it should have been. It felt like this was like 10 minutes. It should have been like 15, maybe 20. It's one of the biggest knocks against AEW and Tony Khan, and he didn't do anything to rectify that knock. It felt like it was over before you knew it. The right woman went over.
Of course.
In this scenario, I think especially with Mercedes Martinez being on the AEW contracted roster, you should have her as the ROH champion. It's a really precipitous fall for Deonna Purrazzo, just coughing up the AAA title to Taya Valkyrie. Now she's coughed up the ROH title to Mercedes Martinez, so it'll be interesting to see what she looks like on Impact moving forward. There was a lot more that could have been done. There's a lot of meat that's left on this bone. The build wasn't good. The match was okay. I know Tony Khan gets a lot of praise on this podcast, but for this one, there's so much more that could have been done.
I only have one last thing to say about this.
There's not a lot to say about this, Jeff. The match kind of writes itself. It's going to be a special night.
Let's get to that 3 count.
Man, you're going to wear that drop down, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I might make it the intro to every single show. Fucking unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it.
It was bad.
By the way, what did the NBA do to us to not give
have
us
a Thursday night game? Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know. It's on me. I'm sorry. 3 counts is the WWE across the board. Let's talk some unfortunate WWE releases. Another round of WWE releases happened. I believe it was the what did it say? The 29th. It looks like of April. In no particular order, guys and girls that were released. What's your girl's name? Dakota Kai, unfortunately, was released. I think that was probably the most high-profile name of the bunch. She was scheduled to go up to the main roster, came back down, lost to Raquel Gonzalez for some inexplicable reason. It just felt like the writing was on the wall for Dakota Kai. Malcolm Bivens is kind of the one that was a bit surprising. I liked him as the manager of what was the Roderick Strong heel faction's name?
Diamond Mine.
Diamond Mine. I think he's a great manager, great mouthpiece. I did see a couple of MJF tweets where he and then Stokely Hathaway were together in pictures, so that was a tease of maybe him coming to AEW. Go ahead.
So what I heard about both of them,
okay,
Dakota Kai and Malcolm Bivens, is that they offered them
Malcolm Bivens, I heard they offered him a contract and he turned it down.
They offered him an extension, and they both turned it down. So rather than let them just play it out and then just go away, they just released him.
Good.
For both of them.
Good. No, good for WWE for not, holding them to contract when they didn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. Good for them as talent, so that way they can go to wherever they want to go.
Choose your narrative.
Yeah.
Control your narrative. That's what I meant.
So that way it's choose your, what is that book where he's like, you choose your path or shit like that.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah. Same concept. That way the talent can go where they want to go. If it's the AEW, great. If it's somewhere else, that's just great too. But I'm glad for this scenario, WWE didn't hold them to the fire under contract. Dexter Lumis is another that it's kind of a surprise to me, even though I don't watch NXT that much. I think his comedy, especially with the Indy Hartwell wedding, for me was one of the high spots of NXT after they kind of flipped over from the black and gold brand. I'm not sure why they never really pushed him. It felt like kind of the writing was on the wall a little bit when he lost to Johnny Gargano in the North American title match, and they kind of fell into this comedy sketch role.
So here's the way I think about these cuts, right? Especially those 3, because there were like 7 more, but they're people that we didn't
Harlan,
have a whole lot of TV time.
Right-hand man, Persia Parada. I can't think of the other 5.
But they're people that didn't have as much TV time as those 3. Certainly, Dexter Lumis and Dakota Kai had a lot of TV time.
Dakota Kai had a couple. Yeah, I was going to say she had a couple of high-profile feuds with Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah,
and they were tagged. They were a team and everything. And she had a big turn and everything. Yep. And I made this joke last week or maybe 2 weeks ago about OVW being NXT 0.5, right? But really, if you start thinking about NXT as OVW, where it really is this developmental promotion that's really just, hey, we're just trying to see who gets up there. It's not even like the G League. It's not even like baseball A or double A. It's baseball triple A. But at a certain point, if this person's never going to get to the bigs, they just drop them off, because those 3 guys, those 3 performers, Bivens, Dakota Kai, Dexter Lumis, were all right on the cusp of being, okay, are we going to bring them up here or not? And if Vince or Kevin Dunn or whoever it is doesn't see money in them, then they just drop them. That's probably better for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. In the long run, I would rather them, at least be able to, like you said, control their narrative.
Now, AEW can't
sign everybody.
They can't sign everybody, but like this last weekend told us, like, there are people that make their living professional wrestling that aren't on TV, that are really good at what they do.
I think, in Dakota Kai's case, I think she should probably go the Ember Moon route and wrestle some indies and figure, build her stock back up. And then if somebody wants her at that point, you go to the highest bidder.
There's also some people that are going to just become real estate agents. That's fine too. Like, just, you can be like, hey, I was a former pro wrestler. Hopefully
Can you see Dexter Lumis be like, you know what? If you don't buy this house, I'm gonna cut your fucking neck off.
No, he would just draw you a caricature.
Malcolm Bivens is the one. I would love to, and this is the only one.
He's a really young guy, though. He's younger than you think he is.
35.
I think he's younger than that.
What?
Hold on, let me check. Go ahead. Keep
Malcolm
talking.
Bivens is the guy that, if there's any one of the 10 releases from WWE that I would love to see go to AEW, it would be Malcolm Bivens. I liked him as Stokey Hathaway in Evolve. He had his own little faction there. He's got MJF ties. I think the addition of...
This shit doesn't have the year that he was born. His birthday's November 12th. It's like,
Scorpio's
okay.
in the house?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, see, there you go. Another reason to like...
Me and 2 bald black guys.
Another reason to like Stokey Hathaway. I would be more interested to see him and MJF paired up as heel manager combination. You'd have Mark Sterling as the heel lawyer in this case for MJF. I think it's got some possibilities to run with. I think Malcolm Bivens is an amazing talent, especially, like I said, as a heel manager. Heel managers thrive in AEW. At least they could if you really put some heart and soul into it. I think it would be an interesting conversation to have. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but if there's one person I would like to see go to AEW, it would be Malcolm Bivens.
Me too. I think that he is a singular talent. I think that that's something that's not very easy, and it's something that He does really well. Smart Mark Sterling does really well.
Agreed.
Paul Heyman does really well.
Agreed.
It's kind of a lost art.
Heyman's on another whole nother level. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a whole nother universe.
But, I mean, Heyman is 35 years older than Smart Mark Sterling, so Smart Mark Sterling probably could get to Heyman level at some point.
If he stayed in it for 35 years, maybe.
I just think it's kind of a lost art.
I agree. I'll miss the heel manager. When I grew up watching WWE, it was Bobby Heenan. It was Mr. Fuji. It was Jimmy Hart.
Bobby Heenan was, even better than Paul Heyman.
He's the guy that I think of when I think of heel managers. It's the first person I think of. It's Bobby Heenan. Whether it was his obsession with seeing Hulk Hogan lose.
He was certainly the funniest.
Oh, yeah. On commentating, him and Gorilla Monsoon are two of my favorites all time. They had an amazing chemistry together. Some of his, when Hulk Hogan flipped and turned to NWO, so his call there, I think, is still one of the best
Malcolm
ones.
Bivens is one of those guys that he's young enough to where, if he stuck with it, he would be great.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I just think he's got to plan out his next move. Wait the non-compete clause out and figure it out from there. I will say one thing about when you're talking about the AAA analogy with NXT. Apparently, they're going to do 90-day reviews of all the contracted talent and then decide whether you stay or go.
I heard something like they were doing systematic drops.
Okay, now here's my problem with that, and I get it. I don't, you got to figure out who's available, not available, but who's progressing.
You
who's
can't
regressing.
have a problem with it.
No.
You don't even watch it.
Here's my problem with it. If you're not putting talent on TV to see whether or not they're progressing or regressing, then you're making I guess snap judgments. I don't think Dexter Lumis should have been, released. That's just me. I think that, for WWE purposes, he works.
You don't think Vince makes snap judgments? He makes snap judgments all the time.
Okay, so we're trying to, at least I'm trying to.
I got a prediction coming up later that is all about him making a snap judgment.
I have a prediction too.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Then
all right. So
let's move along.
You didn't watch Cameron Grimes versus Solo Sikoa versus Carmelo Hayes.
It sounds like an amazing match, but I did not watch it.
It fucking ruled. It was spectacular. It was three guys that
Who took the pin?
Shit. I want to say Carmelo Hayes did. It wasn't Solo. Yeah, Cameron Grimes won. He pinned Carmelo Hayes.
Interesting. Okay.
I think. I don't know. It was just a really fun match.
No, it sounds like they're three top.
Nathan
guys
Frazier
that are
versus Grayson Waller. Did you see Grayson Waller's new move? That's like this flip off the top rope unprettier.
Flip off the top. I'm trying to imagine that in my head.
It's impossible to imagine. I understand, but it is an unprettier. But the guy is on his knees, face down. And he's on the turnbuckle, and he flips over, and grabs the guy's shoulders from underneath, and unprettiers him.
So he grabs the shoulders while they're in flight?
While he's in flight.
Okay, yeah, I would have to see that for myself because I
gotta find it. It's unbelievable. We'll keep talking though.
No, I was gonna say I'll give Grayson Waller all the credit in the world.
Did you see the Creeds versus the Viking Raiders? Great match. Oh, it's a great match, man. Those are big, meaty dudes slapping meat, man.
Okay, I get it, but I'm just saying, for this scenario, and I'm just gonna go out on a limb on this one. I'm gonna assume that the Creed brothers won.
Yes,
okay.
The Creed brothers won with a little bit of shenanigans. Roderick Strong came out.
Okay, all right, fair enough. They're gonna hold Roger Strong to contract. Okay, I ain't got what else. I mean, he'll just go over to.
I'm showing Jason this.
Okay,
I'm showing Jason this move.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like an unprettier.
Yeah. But he's okay. I'm thinking they're coming. They're both coming off
That's
the ropes.
badass, though, right?
It's a nice little finisher move. It's a nice little finisher.
That's not even his finisher. He's just fucking around.
Oh, okay.
That's just Grayson Waller fucking around.
Okay. Grayson Waller, look, as much as I'm not a huge fan of, I guess, the character, I don't know him, obviously, as a person. The character kind of rubs me the wrong way. What he does in
like
ring.
the Acclaimed rub me the wrong way?
Yes, sir.
So that's good heel.
Okay.
Right?
Fine.
That's what you said to me about the Acclaimed.
Fine. No problem with that.
Good.
I will always say that Grayson Waller in the ring is kind of almost an idiot savant where he shouldn't be doing the things that he's doing, and he's getting over with his athleticism. His character is a heat magnet. See Acclaim and the Gun Club. I expect them to be doing the same, heat magnet shit.
So let me tell you about Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy.
Please, because I saw.
Not a good match.
Really?
No.
Joe Gacy, I like. They didn't have a good match?
No, I mean, Braun Breaker has had good matches, but they're always good matches with good wrestlers, right? So now Braun Breaker's with Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy's been wrestling longer than Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody's been wrestling longer than
Braun
Braun
Breaker.
It was not a good match. It was a little sloppy in some parts. I'm a Braun Breaker guy. I think they've presented them really well. I think they've gotten them over really well.
Minus the Dolph Ziggler title reign. That's just me. I think he should have just kept it and ran with it, but that's just me.
Yeah, but still, Dolph Ziggler was there to get Braun Breaker over.
Okay. I don't
know why you're trying to get your OVW champ over with Dolph Ziggler, but I guess it's because it's on TV.
What else?
Anyway, Braun Breaker beats Joe Gacy. Fine. That's what everybody expected to happen.
That's what should happen.
These two druids show up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about.
And then the show cuts off.
That's it.
That was it. And you could hear Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett being like, who the fuck are these guys, right? So apparently if you go to WWE.com, you can watch the rest of it. But apparently Gacy and Breaker were supposed to hit their marks, and they didn't hit their marks. And they couldn't do overrun on the show. So the show had to cut off. And that's why you hear guys that used to write for WWE say you always have to hit your TV marks. You have to hit your TV marks because they're showing Independence Day after this or
whatever.
Whatever, in the line of fire.
Temptation Island.
Right.
But I say, ooh, mama going to be mad.
Next Friday. But anyway, they showed it, and it was completely stupid because they have these two druids that, drag Braun Breaker out, and they drag him on a stretcher of barbed wire.
Damn.
And people think that this is the Grizzly Young Veterans.
Okay. I've not seen NXT for a while. I did see a clip where Grizzly
Just
Young
watch
Veterans.
it, dude. You watch everything else.
No, fuck that.
You watch everything else.
Okay. Here's the reason why. One reason why I want to watch NXT. How they have booked some of my favorite talent. Grizzly Young Veterans have no business.
That's some of your favorite talent?
Fucking right.
Grizzly Young Veterans?
Gibson is a straight up heat magnet on the fucking mic. And if you don't know that, then that's on you. Secondly, the fact that they are one of the better tag teams that hasn't even been presented well on NXT. That's another fucking problem. You can't have these guys running around here being thieves and, trying to be, Ocean's 11 and all this other bullshit. That's the biggest crock of horse shit I've ever seen in my life. Just let these guys wrestle. That's what they do. That being said, I saw something where they were like, oh, we're breaking up or whatever. More so reason why I don't want to watch this. And now you're going to give me some druids that come out after the fact that Joe Gacy loses the time. Look, man, I get it. You release Harlan. Okay, maybe this is a Harlan spot where he was supposed to come in. Guys missed their mark. I get it. Okay, look, I'll just say it. Braun Breaker shouldn't have lost to Dolph Ziggler. I'm on record on saying that if you're going to make that guy strong, just have him mow through the fucking division and then have the guy that you want to be the next guy, have him beat Braun Breaker, have Braun Breaker move to the main roster, have this guy, be the NXT champion. You can move along from that point. The fact that I don't even watch NXT and I'm starting to get a little worked up about it bothers me, okay? This is just silly ass shit. You shouldn't have it. You shouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
it.
that should bother you more about you than it does about NXT.
No, it bothers
You're like,
me about.
oh, look, I'm getting worked about the up.
No, it
I'm
bothers
getting
me
worked up about
NXT
the shit that I
because
shouldn't care about.
Weekly, you want to bring it up, so we talk about it. And the fact that I started to get mad about it is the fact that the reason why I don't watch that shit.
Listen,
It's just hard to watch.
Listen,
7 hours of nonsense.
I like wrestling.
I like wrestling too, but I
don't
can't
think you
watch.
do.
No, I can't watch 7. You can watch 7 hours of nonsense. At a certain point, I got to start drawing the line. Look,
Yeah,
I
but
like
you
this
watch-
better. I like that better, and I like that better.
Yeah, sure.
So why should I watch this?
Because I know where it is. I'd
Shit.
rather not spend the 30 minutes looking for where it is because I know where it is.
No, okay.
No.
So if you want to watch Impact, it's real easy, okay?
No,
And I hate
Impact.
people-
I could watch Impact.
Okay,
I
hate
tape
people-
it every week.
Okay, and
I
you
just
still
don't
don't
watch
watch
it.
it.
No, I don't have time.
So here's more so my problem. You rather watch NXT, that nonsense that cuts off on
Can I
a
tell you?
weekly basis.
Can I tell you what happens? I'm here alone on Tuesday nights with the baby. Aaron goes to work at like 4 o'clock. So it's me and the baby. Baby goes down about 7:10. I've been
Good time to watch Impact.
on Tuesday nights.
You got it taped, motherfucker. You can watch it from the week before.
I like watching live television.
Oh,
though.
Jesus Christ.
No, I do. I like watching live television. So, and also I don't want to go back and forth from recorded shit to live shit because I'm watching the NBA every Tuesday night also.
You know what you could be doing instead of watching NXT?
Dude,
Watch the NBA.
I got it on. No, but there's commercials, dude.
Oh, my God.
There's commercials on the NBA. You think I'm going to watch commercials?
No, that's where you go, check on anime, use the bathroom, get your treats, get your smoke in, come back. You got 2-3 minutes, man.
What if I just want to flip over to fucking wrestling, though, or flip over to basketball?
You can flip over to NXT if you want to.
Just take the L here.
No.
Just take the L. You can't spell Jason Bell without 2 L's.
You tell me why I get the first one, and then
You
we can
ain't
talk about
shit.
You tell me why I get the first one, I'll give you the second
All
one
right,
at that
fine.
point.
I don't feel like talking about NXT anymore. Let's get to that. Let's get to those predictions.
My point exactly.
All right, we got some predictions.
Predictions. You get no. It's not that one. It's top right.
Hey, everybody, we got some predictions this week. There's only 6 matches on this card.
It should be, man. I'm sorry.
I think they're going to
Improvise and get a 7th match.
I think we'll get Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel.
You think that'll be? I guess. Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
I can see that happen.
Let's start with the I Quit match. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Go ahead.
I Quit match, obviously for the SmackDown title. I'll be honest, man. I really thought that Ronda Rousey probably should have won it at WrestleMania. Obviously didn't. You had Bianca win it, so you couldn't have both baby faces win it. So you protected Charlotte on that match at WrestleMania. I would be stunned, absolutely stunned, if all of a sudden now they double down on it and have Charlotte win this second match. It's an I Quit match. There's no shame in Charlotte tapping. I mean, we've seen that before. So in this scenario, I expect this to be a 20-minute match. It needs to be the best of the bunch. I'm taking Ronda Rousey to win the SmackDown Women's title.
I wrote it down before, Jason. I wrote it down while you were talking because I didn't want to seem like I was piggybacking off of you. But I don't think there's any way that they have Ronda Rousey say I quit.
No, that would be the worst thing for her character right now. The absolute worst thing.
Unless she's going away for another 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, you forget about it because WWE will let you forget about it.
Right.
At this point, she's here for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure what the next match would be after Ronda Rousey, but yeah, I can't see her saying I quit.
Totally agree. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. I'll go first. They added MVP into this. I heard that MVP wasn't their first option for Omos's manager.
Who was?
I don't know.
I would assume like AJ or
Malcolm Bivens?
Yeah, I was about to say, bring somebody black over here, man. Let the brothers talk for the brothers.
There's two ways this can go. And I hate giving you all this information because this is going to help your pick.
My pick's already made.
Well, go ahead. Give me your pick, then.
I'm taking Omos. I can't see them not being able to put back Bobby Lashley on the back burner. You gave Omos MVP. You've really kind of pushed him to the point where now he needs to have a big signature win. Not saying AJ's not a big signature win. Bobby Lashley is more so of the Omos physical stature. It looks more even. I'm going to take Omos just because it makes the most sense. Not saying that WWE makes sense, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take Omos also, but the other situation that I am presenting is that 2 days before, like right now, Vince could be like, we're playing this whole thing about Omos. It's Omos MVP. And he's like, you know what? Next week or next month at Armageddon or whatever, he's like, Lashley's going to have to face Roman Reigns. And so we have to keep him strong. That's the only thing that stops me. Now, if we're just going to stick with the story, that's Lashley and Omos and MVP, which is the way it should be, I could also see this being a no finish.
Ugh, gross.
If it's a no finish, I'll take 2 points. Coming up next, we have...
How you getting the credit for no finish and taking 2 points? What the fuck? You get a 1 point.
Do you want to...
You get 1 point. You can get a point for a no finish. One.
Yeah, but if I guess that Bobby Lashley retains...
What retains what? What's he retaining, motherfucker? It's win
his
or
pride.
He probably
All
lost
right.
that coming back.
They've
to WWE.
obviously done this because Roman Reigns is hurt. Like, they're not telling anybody, but Roman Reigns has to be hurt. So it's turned into a 6-way match with RK Bro and Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline. Who do you have?
Not a fan of the build. I partially agree with you for the fact that I think Roman Reigns is legitimately hurt, and in that, and the fact that I think they're waiting for Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns for a stadium-style event, a.k.a. SummerSlam. That all being said, I'm going to take the baby faces here. There's got to be a build towards Roman versus Drew. A loss in a not a triple threat match, but a 6-man match is a good way to do it. Usos getting pinned. Good way to continue a storyline that probably should already be happening with the Undisputed Tag Team titles. I'll take the babyface.
I'll take the Bloodline. I don't see Roman Reigns losing in the main event of the event. Unless this is not the main event, unless Cody Seth is, that would be a better move because that is the thing that everybody's looking forward to. But that's also the thing that we're not going to talk about until the very end. So we have Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. Who do you have?
Who gives a fuck? I can care
I
less
do.
about this match. I know you do.
I'm taking Madcap Moss. I do give a fuck. I think they should put the rocket to him. I think he's fucking great. Him versus Austin Theory, WrestleMania 2023.
For what? For what?
The heavyweight belt.
Oh, dude, stop this nonsense right now. Jesus, I'd rather have Corbin in that match, for fuck's sake. And I don't even like fucking Corbin. Yeah, I said it. I really wanted to go again. I really want to take Corbin. I'm just not going to. I'll take Madcap Moss. Oh, gross.
Well, this is boring. We only have 2 things off. Okay, so do you want to go first for AJ Edge or you want me to?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
So obviously we were giving Bullet Club all kinds of love at the beginning of the pod. AJ comes out. Well, not AJ comes out. Excuse me. Finn Balor comes out and makes the save on AJ Styles, and they do the Too Sweet, and WWE crowd goes absolutely ballistic because they think we're going to get a Bullet Club-esque reunion in WWE. I don't know how many times that I or other people have to tell the hardcore WWE fan base, but I'll tell you this right now. If WWE didn't come up with it, it's not going to happen. It doesn't exist, and
It's
this
a
will not
swerve.
exist.
I did not
it
know.
It is a totally swerve.
Jason, no, you just swerved me.
Okay, well then, here we go. Finn Balor's going to come out at some point on Sunday and cost AJ Styles this match and join this Judgment Day faction. So I'm taking Edge for that reason alone, that AJ Styles will get swerved by Finn Balor thinking that it is Bullet Club all day, every day, and it ain't Bullet Club. Why? Because Bullet Club didn't come into WWE. Bullet Club wasn't invented by WWE. So guess what? Bullet Club doesn't exist for WWE. They got me the first time when they got me with AJ Styles and Finn Balor in that little impromptu match. They ain't getting me a second time. I'm taking Edge.
You stole my thunder. I had already written down Edge is for the exact same reason. I think that's a good reason. I think if Finn Balor joins Edge's new brood or whatever you want to call it.
It's Judgment Day, but whatever.
That's the name of the group? That used to be the name of pay-per-view, though.
I think that's going to be kind of a linking.
I also want Rhea Ripley to join them, but
patience, my boy. Patience.
Did you just call me boy?
My boy.
So we have one match left, and this is one that we can seriously disagree on. I'm going to write mine down.
Okay.
All right. I don't want you to look. All right, Jason, I want you to go first.
Cody versus Seth is the match that I'm looking forward to the most. I agree with Bill. It probably, at this point, should be the main event just because of story, time invested in. And it's honestly, for me, it's the one angle that I like the most. Now, obviously, you had Seth Rollins lose round one. I really want to take Seth in round two, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to take Seth Rollins for round two. I just can't see them getting away from this until we have Roman Reigns defeat whoever their next opponent is. My guess, obviously, is Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. That would make sense. So if you're going to do on the flip side on Raw, you want to have your best foot moving forward. At this point, the best foot moving forward is Cody versus Seth. The way you can continue it is have Seth win this second match, have a tiebreaker at Money in the Bank and or SummerSlam. I'm taking Seth Rollins.
I had written down before you said it, I'm taking Seth Rollins also. I think that we need a trilogy. I think it would be I just don't think they're going to have Seth Rollins lose 2 in a row.
No.
Now, they could. They had Triple H lose 3 in a row to Batista. They did, though.
It would be cool. I'll go this far. I wouldn't be mad if Cody won. I wouldn't be mad if Cody lost. I would be excited that Cody lost because that means we're getting round 3. If Cody won, it goes back to what I've said before, that they have to bring him over and present him strong as humanly possible. One of the ways to do it is have him being Seth Rollins twice clean. And then from there, if you want, you go on to go with the Roman Reigns portion at that point, knock yourself out. I'm just kind of disappointed in the addition of Drew and Roman with that 6-man. Just have the Usos.
Just kind of disappointed.
It's actually, I'll go this far, and I said it on Twitter today. WWE had me coming back after WrestleMania. And I wasn't a big fan of WrestleMania, wasn't looking forward to it, but the 2 or 3 matches that they had was like, okay, I want to see what happens next. And they failed to capitalize on the little momentum that they had, at least for me, moving forward from that point on. This feels like a literal throwaway premium event for those who like that term. I'm going with pay-per-view because I'm still paying for that shit because I pay for Peacock, so it's a pay-per-view for me. This feels like a throwaway. I have one match to look forward to and one match alone, and that's hopefully the main event, Cody versus Seth.
This is banned from Ringside.
What to say about this, Jeff? The match kind of writes itself. It's going to be a special night.
Sunday ain't going to be special.
We got We got birthdays this week.
Birthdays. Look, I see you writing them down at the last minute. Look at you.
Val Venus.
Hello,
57.
ladies.
Oh, that's pretty good. Do it again.
Hello, ladies.
That's pretty good. Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
Kennedy.
Anderson.
Kennedy.
He's only 46.
What?
Hold
God,
on.
I'm fucking
That doesn't seem
old.
right, does it?
No, he should be older than me.
Yeah, he's 46.
God
he was born
damn
in
it.
1976.
Jesus Christ.
Bruce Pritchard is 59. Chase Owens is 32. Tyler Bate,
26?
25. God damn. 25.
Where's Tyler Bate? But no, I
what a
should say
stud.
that. He's still over at NXT UK. God bless him.
Chase Owens is 36. No, that's not right. Oh, Chase Owens is 32.
What?
Yeah, Chad Gable is 36.
What the fuck? Chad
Tyler
Gable
Bate
is
is
older
25.
than... Dude, what...
Yeah, Chad Gable is 4
older
years-
than Chase Owens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Rick Steiner is 61.
Have we found him from captivity since Joe Gacy captured his ass? Okay, thank you. You rolled your eyes.
It's a bad angle.
You rolled your eyes. And
It's a
that's
bad
why I don't.
angle. I never said
That's
it
why I
wasn't
don't
a
watch
bad
NXT.
angle.
That's why I don't watch NXT.
I never said it wasn't a bad angle, and Luchasaurus is 37. Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so
Talk
we
to him,
appreciate
Daddy.
you guys listening to our podcast. For Two Beer Zach Pullman,
Jack.
for Tenderbo Hall,
Jack.
for Wrestling at the Grandel or Grandel Wrestling.
Double check.
For Lucha Chris, for
Jack.
Patriot Pat,
Jack.
for Vice,
Jack.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Support your local weed dealers.
Check.
Support your local restaurants. Support
Check.
your local bartenders.
Double check.
Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Boo the heels.